Hi everybody, Elirra here. Today I want to talk about Dragon Adventures, specifically dragon values. I was looking around online and I couldn't find a video about it. I did, however, find a document made by some Discord users. Those that don't have Discord, however, don't have access to this information, so I thought I'd share some about values and trading. I've spent so many hours trading that I received the title No Lifer. Yeah, go ahead and laugh, it's funny. That does mean, though, that I have some experience in the Undercity, the game's trading world, and I feel comfortable sharing this information with you all. I will leave a link to the value list posted by the Discord users and their usernames so you can get to them with any questions about the list. However, if you have questions for me, just put them in the comments below. Okay, let's get started. First, let's talk about trust trades and scams. My biggest thing is that you should never, ever trust trade with people unless you trust that person implicitly. Even, quote, friends have been known to scam their friends from time to time. It's almost always a scam when someone asks you to trust trade. So a trust trade is when a trade would take 2 transactions to complete. For example, in DA, you cannot put coins in a trade. As far as trades go, coins can only be used to buy from other players in the auction or from the player exchange, and you cannot trade dragons in the player exchange. If someone tells you, I will trade you a Torada and 100 coins for your bet, that would be a trust trade because you'd be required to trade the dragon and then do an auction for the 100,000 coins or vice versa. You have to trust that that person will put the dragon on the auction or that they will give you the Torada, whichever second. Generally, if a trade sounds too good to be true, it probably is. There's also the player exchange scam, where people will ask you to buy something small from them for an amount that is way higher than that item's value in the player exchange. For example, they may have you buy a leaf for 100,000 coins. They will then say, I will trade you the item or the dragon after you buy my item in the player exchange. Don't do it. If the trade is on the up and up, they'll use the auction instead of using this more complicated method. Lastly, on scams is the, quote, if you buy my blank, I will give you a blank with that purchase. For example, if you buy my raptor for 100,000 coins, I'll give you a bat after. Never pay more than the value of the dragon, and if you do, expect that you're only getting that one dragon for that price. If the trade was on the up and up, they would just sell you the bat for 100,000 coins and not ask you to do the aforementioned purchase first. If you do decide to do a trust trade for some reason, always record the transaction so you have proof if they scam you. You can then report them to Roblox or to the Dragon Adventures Discord mod mail. They will be banned for this action. However, be aware that people will generally scam you, move the coins and items to an alt, and not care if the account gets banned because they've already moved the stuff. So it's best to just not trust trade in the first place because there will likely be no justice. Some people will try to do middleman trades where they will give the items to a third party, seemingly a stranger to both parties, who has no investment in the trade, to avoid a scam. This in itself can be a scam though. If the middleman turns out to be a friend of the scammer, they can just leave with your items or coins and trade it to each other after. Therefore, middleman trading is highly discouraged. Now for cross trades. Cross trades are another type of scam. People will say, I'll give you a blank from Adopt Me if you give me a blank from Dragon Adventures. 9 times out of 10, the people will get the item from you and then log, leaving you without the item they promised. Cross trades are not only shady, they're bannable through Roblox and Dragon Adventures, so just don't get involved in this kind of trade. Okay, now that we've talked about scams, let's talk about what you're really here for, values. While I cannot possibly list every dragon and its value, I can direct you to the list made by some really patient and generous people. Let's talk about what adds value to creatures and how much it might add. First, let's talk about world and exclusive dragons. World dragons are those that you can hatch from eggs that you find around the world. Exclusive dragons are those that you hatch from event eggs or season dragons, which you get from the season missions. Generally, world dragons are not very desirable in trades unless they have a special theme or are legendary color or pupil. That brings us to tiers. Dragons have tiers that classify how rare or desirable they are. Tiers pertain to exclusive dragons only, not world dragons. From worst to best, the tiers are F, D, C, B, A, and X. There's only one X tier dragon, the Vaydreki, and that costs between 9 and 11 million coins for a no mutation version. The tier chart is part of the link below. Generally, the lowest tier dragons are between 10k and 50k. They don't cost a lot, but they aren't highly sought after either. While the tier level gives you a good idea of rarity or desirability of the dragon, it doesn't really give you a good price idea because, for example, D tier dragons run between 25k and 800k in value. It's very unpredictable, so a 1-for-1 trade within a tier doesn't really guarantee it's a good value trade. For example, Tosknir is worth 500 to 800k, and Skyrix is worth 25 to 50k, but they're both in the D tier. Always check the price guide so you aren't scammed by this. One good thing about tiers is that it will help you when you're going to trade for higher tier dragons. You will almost always hear people with rare or high tier dragons say that they do not want low tier events for their trade. This is what they mean. When you check the chart, remember that these prices are for the basic dragon with no mutations. We'll discuss mutations later. Next, if you watch my tutorial, you know that dragons can have mutations. These can naturally occur, or you can use mutation potions to add them. Full mutation dragons always go for more than the basic version, and sometimes full mutation can add a ton of value. Here is the general price range for full mutation exclusive dragons. As you see, F tier equals 200k to 500k. D tier is 500k to 1 million. C tier is 1 to 1.5 million. B tier is 2 to 3 million. A tier is 6 to 7 million. And X tier is 12 million plus. As far as world dragons go, here's the general idea. 1 to 2 mutations don't really add any value, but when you get to 3 and above, you begin to see a huge difference. 3 mutations will generally add 30 to 40k, 4 will give you a 70k increase, and full mut world dragons tend to sell for 150 to 250k, a very significant difference. Of course, this all varies from player to player, and sometimes you can get even more. Next, let's talk about pure colors. You can add pure color and material potions to your dragons. This will usually be talked about in fractions. For example, a pure color and material dragon would be called 6 out of 6 pure. That's 3 colors and 3 materials that are pure. A pure color dragon is a 3 out of 3 pure. 6 out of 6 is obviously more sought after, but color is the most important when it comes to purity. Pure color can add 100k to 250k value in exclusive dragons and 10 to 50k in world dragons. Next is the legendary pupil or leg eye dragons. You can see if a dragon has a leg eye by scrolling over the element or eye in the stats. It will say the element and then legendary under that. The eye will also change colors related to its element. For exclusive dragons, this adds 500k to 1.5 million or more value. For world dragons, it adds 30 to 70k in value. Next is the themes. Themes are when dragons have a certain color pattern that's desirable to others. There is a list of themes on the DA Discord. I will share a link to that, and hopefully everyone has access to it. Themes add value to dragons. Because world dragons can be bred with the theme on them, they are more abundant, and it doesn't add as much value to them. For example, the minimum bid amount for a raptor is 1,000 coins. I generally sell my themed raptors for 3,000 to 5,000 coins, so it didn't add a whole lot. I've seen Vaporwave raptors go for as much as 10,000 coins though. Now, for exclusive dragons to have themes takes a lot on the player's part, so it adds a lot of value to them. There's no set amount obviously, but I've seen highlighter buns go for over 1 million coins. Themes are very specific to the taste of the buyer, so you never know how much value it could add. When a dragon is default, that is also a coloration that adds value. Default dragons are ones that have the colors of the concept dragons. When you look at the concept art for a dragon, there is always 3 colors shown. These are the default colors, and they add about the same value as themed. Lastly is the legendary color, or leg color dragon. These are the ones you see around that change colors. You can tell if it's legendary also because one of the colors will say legendary. These change colors according to their element. Legendary color adds 500,000 to 1 million in exclusive dragons and 1 to 1.5 million value in world dragons. If you see a dragon that has both leg eye and color, that's called a double legendary, or DBL, and they are even more desirable. However, this doesn't add a whole ton of value to an exclusive dragon. It isn't listed on the Discord value list, but I would say it adds about 500k in value for exclusive dragons. I have yet to see it in a world dragon, so I have no experience in how much value it adds to them. I'm assuming it's a lot because it's very rare. So this is my rundown on dragon values. I hope it was more helpful than confusing. It's a pretty complicated subject, but I wanted to bring it up because not many people have. Please keep in mind though that these are all very general guidelines and the values could be drastically different if a person wants a certain dragon very badly and are willing to overpay for it, for example. I've literally seen a leg eye raptor sell for 60 million coins before. It's very rare, but it goes to show you just never know for sure. That's about it for this video. Be kind to one another, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!